about love compatibility or marital compatibility, the most important houses which we have to see is first, third and eighth. Yes, seventh house is very important because it is showing if there is a relationship in life or not. It is also showing the quality of marriage. But to sustain a marriage or a love relationship, to make sure that two people, when they come together, they will create a harmonious life together. For that, we have to see third and eighth house. Third house because it is the house of communication, playfulness, action, lust, wishful thinking, will, free will, planning. It's also the higher octave of eighth house. So it is also a very important house when we look into compatibility between two people. Now, why eighth house? Why not just seventh house? Why not 12th house? See, seventh house, as I said, it is about showing that whether there is going to be a relationship or not and the quality of relationship. But eighth house is the extension of seventh house. Like sixth house is the demotion of seventh house. It reduces the seventh house. It spoils it gives loss to seventh house, sixth house. Eighth house increases seventh house. It is the house of Mangalya. It is the house which shows sexual compatibility, which is the base of a marital life. Some people believe that 12th house is very important because it is of bad pleasure. No, what I feel is 12th house is for what they say from 7th house to 12th house. It is 6th according to Bhavat Bhava. So it shows the karma of marriage. What kind of karmas this couple will create in their marital life. It also shows the prarabdha of that marriage, like that marital relationship, what kind of past life karmic debts they have or they don't have. Also, if we divide, like how we see one of the steps or one of the techniques, how I have learned when we have to see karmic connections or how spiritually a couple will get evolved when they will come together. So for that, the 12th house is about from 7th to 12th. And we also should take in consideration 8th house. So when we talk about 7th, 8th and 12th, like from 8th it is 5th house and from 7th it is 6th house. So we can say the sexual work which a couple will perform together, or the sexual relationship or intimacy which a couple will create together. So it is like they say from sex to samadhi. So that 12th, the 12th house shows that whether this couple can go to that extent when they can achieve orgasm, basically, or eventually they will grow into partners who are very much into meditation and sadhana. That's why it is also the house of what they say, donation, samadhi, sadhana, dan. So these all are spiritual practices. So this is how when we have to do compatible reading, if it is karmic reading, it is definitely different houses, not 100% the same houses. There are some other houses involved as well. But when we do a normal compatibility, then we have to look at it like this. Now suppose we have Aries rising, okay, and first house is very important, first 3, 7th, 8th for compatibility. So for normal compatibility, so when we see the first house Aries, now the other partner, suppose he or she has Gemini rising, then their third house is Gemini for Aries and Leo for Gemini. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. So Gemini and Leo do very well together. Communication, yes, it can get argumentative at times, but because of playfulness of both, in their nature, these two people who are Aries and Gemini rising, They do very well together. Now if we see Scorpio and and their eighth house, the Aries and Gemini, they have a eighth house as Aries have Scorpio and Gemini have Pisces. So that also, because both are related, somehow related to sexual compatibility, they do well together. So Aries rising and Gemini rising does well together if their lords are placed well and compatible to each other. That is according to everyone's chart, so I can't speak about it. Now if we see about Cancer and Pisces sign, how they are also very compatible, Cancer rising and Pisces rising. The Cancer rising have third house Virgo and 8th house Aquarius. Now third house Virgo and Pisces have third house Taurus. Now Virgo and Taurus, the communication can be very, very smooth, very loving, because Mercury and Venus. So they can be very compatible with each other when it comes to communication. They do well together. And the 8th house is Aquarius and Libra. So they will be very friendly, very playful when they are intimate with each other. So, and both are air signs. So these two rising are also very compatible with each other. Now if we see about for an example, I am presenting here Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton's charts. So Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, they were married twice. First time was in 1975 to 1976. For 1 year only they got married, 1 to 1.5 years approximately. The second time was from 1964 to 1974. Both have multiple relationships, so both were married few times, but together they created a magic on the screen as well as in personal life. They were very close with each other. So second time their marriage lasted for 10 years. Now Elizabeth was born on 27th Feb 1932, 2:30 a.m. London, United Kingdom. This is what I have got from Astro Data Bank. And Richard Burton was born on 10th November 1925, 3 p.m. to a place I can call, the name is a bit unusual, Pontree High Dyfen, Wales, also United Kingdom. So now Elizabeth is Scorpio ascendant, and the third house sign is Capricorn. Seventh house sign is Taurus. Eighth house sign is Gemini. And her seventh lord, Taurus, is her seventh house sign. The seventh house lord Venus is exalted in fifth house with Rahu. Her third house sign is Capricorn, and Saturn is there in its own sign, very strong. She is very, very devoted in her relationships. She is very firm, very determined in her actions. She is very much into her relationship. Eighth house sign is Gemini for Elizabeth. 12th sign is Libra, but I'm not going to discuss that for now, okay, because I'm not doing karmic compatibility. That I will explain some other time. Now seventh lord is Venus, and it is with Rahu, so that means it is trine, fifth house is trine, and her ninth house have exalted Jupiter. So in her every relationship she wanted to, she wanted a marriage. That's why she got married many times. She didn't want an affair. So this one is a person who is very sure, very adamant about being in a relationship, stable relationship, committed relationship, which is also accepted according to social conventions. So now if we see Richard Burton's chart, and he also had multiple relationship. He was married 5 times also, and twice to Elizabeth. He is Pisces ascendant. So Scorpio and Pisces both are emotional, both are emotionally connected with each other. Both have water sign rising. His third house is Taurus, and Elizabeth has third house as Capricorn. So Capricorn and Taurus are very compatible with each other because Saturn and Venus are ruling them. So they communicate very well with each other. They click very well, and they have lot of lustful communication between each other. Okay, so for For Elizabeth, the seventh house is Taurus. For Richard, seventh house is Virgo. Now, Taurus and Virgo also Mercury and Venus. So it is seventh house is compatible also because their lords are also placed well. You can see in the chart. And I'm going to talk about the lords in a while. And the eighth house sign for Elizabeth is Gemini, and for Richard it is Libra. So again Mercury and Venus are coming together. So this is the most perfect relationship. And because if you see their charts also, if you see their chart, Elizabeth chart, see her third house has Saturn, very determined in Capricorn. Okay, her seventh lord is going to fifth house, trine Venus and Rahu, exalted Venus. Okay, her eighth is Gemini, and Mercury is sitting in air. I mean, Mercury is air sign lord, Gemini, and it is sitting in air sign Aquarius in the fourth house of happiness of heart, Sukhastan, with Mars and Sun in the sign of Aquarius, doing very well. Okay, ninth house has Jupiter in Cancer sign. So you can understand. And in Libra, in 12th house has Moon. But I don't want to discuss 12th now, because that's a different type of compatibility. And if you see Richard Burton's chart also, his planets are also are placed very well. If you see the seventh lord Mercury is sitting in Scorpio in his ninth house, which means in Elizabeth's chart, it is Scorpio is her rising. So he wants to marry her. He is very devoted to her. Trine is devotion, He's very devoted to this lady, And if you see the Libra sign, which is 8th house sign, the lord of Libra is Venus, has gone to 10th house of profession. So they created magic on screen and off screen. So in the 10th house, Richard has the sign Sagittarius, where Venus is sitting with Jupiter. So you can understand they both were very lucky for each other also. They brought each other work also, success also, name and fame also, and they were very well aligned with each other. Now if you see in the 8th house of Richard Burton, he has Saturn, Sun and Mars. Okay, so if you see Libra sign, it is in Elizabeth chart, it's in 12th house and she has Moon there. So if you see 8th and 12th connection for them, it is also very they were very good in bed together. So I think you understand now how to check compatibility between two people who are lovers or who are married to each other. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.